India has welcomed the US-Iran Memorandum of Understanding, expressing hope that it will bring greater stability in West Asia and strengthen global energy security. Addressing the 16th BRICS National Security Advisors meet in New Delhi, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval called the agreement a positive step and highlighted growing role of BRICS in a rapidly changing world order. The meeting got underway in the capital with Doval welcoming delegates from member countries, including Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu, and Iran's Deputy Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, Ghadir Nizamipur, and security officials from Saudi Arabia, UAE, and South Africa.
India welcomes the MOU reached between the US and Iran. We have got cautious optimism and we hope that it will work. It will help energy security.
Highlighting the strategic significance of the Strait of Hormuz, Doval said uninterrupted navigation through the key waterway would ease supply chain disruptions, adding that greater freedom of navigation would benefit economies.
It will remove supply chain bottlenecks, and many of the shortages in the field of, say, fertilizers and chemicals, etc., will be met with. And the freedom of navigation that will be available to the countries in the region and beyond probably will also greatly improve our economic prosperity.
Doval also highlighted BRICS' growing importance amid global uncertainty, conflicts, and evolving security challenges. Addressing member nations, Doval described BRICS as a coalition committed to peace, development, and cooperation. Earlier on the sidelines of the BRICS NSA meeting, NSA Ajit Doval met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, both sides reviewed recent developments in bilateral ties and noted progress towards normalization. Doval even stressed the need for stable, predictable, and constructive relations between India and China, while he described the talks as constructive and forward-looking. And joining us on the broadcast live is WION's Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal. He's joining us live from New Delhi. Siddhant, once again, if you can run us through the key highlights and points of discussion at the BRICS NSA meeting and the discussions that were particularly centered around freedom of navigation through especially the strategic Strait of Hormuz.
Well, a significant remark by the Indian NSA earlier today in Delhi while the BRICS security chiefs were present at the meeting. The clear message first on the geopolitical uncertainty, where the big focus was the West Asia conflict. The Indian NSA welcomed the Iran and the US deal and emphasized basically the free movement of vessels. We know that since the electronic signing of MOU, India has been able to get many of its vessels through Hormuz. India's energy security is linked to opening and closing of Hormuz. Of course, India has been diversifying, but an open Hormuz is something that helps the world, helps the global south. The second, of course, is a message to the global south. This is a grouping that is much sought after in the global south. Many countries of the global south has welcomed the grouping's positions on various aspects, and it's closely watching what the grouping has to say on the current geopolitical tensions. Yes, what is being carefully watched is the position of Iran and UAE. We saw what happened at the foreign ministers meeting where there was a big divergence and that impacted the joint statement. Both UAE and Iran are present in today's meeting that is still underway. We do expect the joint call on also to take place with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi later today. And India, of course, keen that this grouping sends a message of unity, essentially at a time when there are a lot of geopolitical crises, challenges, and conflicts. And third message, of course, is the non-traditional threats, misinformation as a major threat. These are other aspects of today's meeting. Now, India is the chair of the grouping and will be hosting the summit in September, and it is preparing ground for that. And For that, we know that India has already held the foreign ministers meeting. The NSA meeting is underway, and do expect other joint working group meetings to also take place as India hosts this important grouping.
Yes, and Siddhant, important that you mentioned about the 3 Indian flagged vessels that are expected to arrive in India in the coming days. But also the other highlight has been the meeting between Wang Yi and Ajit Doval. India's foreign ministry has described the talks between Doval and Wang as constructive and forward-looking. Just run us through the key highlights of this important meeting that has taken place.
Well, India-China relationship going through its own phase. Currently, it's a phase of stabilization. We know that since Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese president have met in Tianjin, a lot of water has flown in the relationship. Both sides have direct flights. Their pilgrims have been going to Kailash Mansarovar. We also know that the focus is on further firming up the relationship. So that meeting that happened yesterday was carefully watched. We saw the readouts by the Indian side and the Chinese side, both emphasizing on stability. In fact, the Chinese side also said that India and China are partners, not competitors. That's a very important statement coming from the Chinese side. The Indian NSA, of course, emphasized on normalization process, on the process that is still continuing. Both sides are in touch when it comes to border talks. In fact, the Indian NSA is expected to travel to Beijing very soon for the SR-level conversations, that is senior special representative conversation, which takes place alternatively between the two countries. Last year, the Chinese FM had traveled to India, and this year expect the Indian NSA to travel to Beijing for the key special representative talks.
Right, Siddhant, we leave it at that for now. We will, of course, keep coming back to you for more updates. For now, we should focus to other stories that we are tracking.